All right, what's up, positive people? You got Dana here, and today I'm coming to you guys with a different video. And this is basically going to be about my plants. I took a gardening course, and my final project was to create some sort of an at-home garden setup. Some of the things that I decided to grow were beans, corn, marigolds, and radishes. And I've gotten to the place with the grow that it's time to put them in bigger pots. I have these pots. I also have these smaller pots that I picked up from the local nursery. What is particularly worth noting about my grow is that this is actually my second attempt. I'd started growing things soon after the quarter started. I want to say back in May, and all those plants died. I think a big reason why those plants died was they weren't getting enough water. I don't think they were getting enough sun. I didn't initially start with a compost and planting mix. There were just a lot of things that I just didn't do the first go round that I feel like this go round ensured success. I'm going to try and find some footage on the last grow because the plants that I have now have grown exponentially. And I do think in part two that has to do with the fertilizer I use. I also picked up an organic fertilizer. I was making up for lost time, so it was really important to me that I got to a stage where I could transplant these plants and show that they had grown. Call that cheating if you want to, whatever. While I was out, I also picked up an aloe plant, which I've already put up in a way, so I'll show that to y'all in another video if you want to see it, as well as a lavender plant. I've always wanted lavender. I like the way that it smells. I also want to find like hibiscus and some other stuff, and I'm actually interested in continuing an in-home grow after I'm done with this class. Like, gardening is something that I've always wanted to do. At my last apartment, I had actually started doing an in-home grow there, but I just didn't know enough for it to be successful, and as a result, a lot of the plants, you know, just completely failed. Also, you know, I had really shitty neighbors at my last spot, and their kids fucking totally ruined and destroyed the plants that I would leave outside, so it just totally discouraged me. And this class actually like re-sparked a lot of stuff. So I have this one, and as you can see, this one is definitely in need of a bigger container. This is the Trade Nanook. Beautiful, like the purple. I love the purple. Close so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Do you see how some of the leaves are like a little withered? There's some like on the tip of this. You know, with some know-how, we can get it together, which is why I think putting them in pots, mixing the new soil with compost is going to do a lot of good. So this is the beans. As you can see, the beans have done so much better this go around, and the reason why they're leaning like that is I believe they're pointing toward the sun out of my window. But if we can talk about the growth, like look at how tall this is. And I might even look into potentially buying something that makes them stand and grow tall. But underneath it, oh, this is just a casing. That is also just a casing. I think that came off here. I put 6 seeds in here, I believe, and all 6 have sprouted. This one's just taking a little longer, and then it seems like this whole back row here is just taking a little longer. Not really sure why that is, but in my final project, I will have to, you know what I'm saying, go back and just look at the different pictures I've taken and see if maybe sunlight had something to do with it. I don't really know, because again, as you can tell, they were facing this way in my windowsill. So, you know, the plants are jutting out this way to get to the sun. So I'm not really sure why they had equal opportunity at the sun, but I will have to, you know, put down my inferences and then educated hypothesis in my final notes. So those are the beans. This is the beans that I put in my windowsill. I also have beans that I grew solely in the kitchen. And these are them. These just grew like crazy. I don't know if artificial light made these thrive more, but I just think it's wacky how long and tall these got, especially considering my first grow. Like, these didn't have as much time, and you would think that they'd been growing for like a month. Also, they're in a much tighter container, so I don't know if that forced them up more. I think I put just 4 seeds in here, and as you can tell, all 4 have grown, just like the other one. There's one that's kind of lagging behind, which is this one right here, but it did sprout. You can see all the casings in there, but get up close on it. But yeah, isn't that dope? Like how long this bean plant's gotten. So the bean plants have definitely shown out the most. This is May 21st up to, what's today? June 4th, June 5th. So yeah, these are the corn. This is another plant that really showed out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seeds were planted in here. These did really well. These three did great. And then we have these 3 others that are kind of following up and behind. Really nice shoots. Yeah, this is the corn. This is the radishes that grew in the kitchen. They didn't really do much, oddly enough, but it does look like quite a bit sprouted. There's one little sprout here that's coming up. So those are some of the radishes. But then are these radishes also? Before I show y'all the wrong thing, yeah. But then the windowsill radishes, on the other hand, did a lot better. Lots more sprouting here. What's funny is the last grow that I had, I wasn't able to get any of the radishes to germinate. It had me feeling like maybe I had bad seed. So the fact that they germinated on the second go around was like, okay, maybe it needed compost, maybe it needed more water. I have definitely watered much, much more. Like right now as I'm talking to you, all of these plants are like soaked. Not soaked, but like, you know, I pour like a half cup and everything. And I wasn't doing that before. Before I was spritzing them with water, just spritz until the top layer of soil. I just thought that like, oh, that's gonna force the roots to spread and grow, It ended up starving them of water. So anyway, those are the radishes. So this was in the kitchen and this was in the windowsill. Windowsill did much better. Next we have something that was kind of just for fun, and that was petunias. And if you look close, there are 2 very small sprouts here, but otherwise, I don't know what's going on with the petunias. I have the half soil, half compost mix. I'm watering them, and they just don't seem to be doing much of anything. There are definitely sprouts in there, but at this point, I'm kind of scared that if I keep watering at the rate that I'm watering, especially with the sprouts that I have, that there will be root rot. This is supposedly a plant that germinates quickly. It is worth noting that the seed that I had was like old seed. I also have like some lavender that I want to try and stuff like that. I'm debating on getting a grow light just to speed things up because summer is so short here and sunlight hasn't been reliable quite yet. But yeah, these are the petunias from the kitchen. And then I also have petunias that were in the windowsill. Same thing. I don't think I can see a single sprout in here. Next, we have the marigolds. Now the marigolds definitely have an opposite trajectory too. When I first planted these, they grew tall, they were thick, they grew, you know, it's going well. I may dial back my watering a little bit because I had so much more last go around, but you know, it's all good, whatever. It's just last time I just got a lot more. Same thing with the windowsill ones. I didn't really get too much of anything. So these are the containers that I have for all of these plants. I'm gonna make sure that they have tons of room to grow and thrive and do their thing. I have my planting mix as well as my compost. If you care about what sort of compost I'm using, it's just the local compost. It was like $4 for this big bag, and it looks like that. And I'm gonna be using even more. We learned in our class that like compost solves most of your problems, lack of nutrients, try compost, that and mulch. I am going to start by adding compost to each pot. And I think before I do that, I'm actually gonna, I have this paper roll. I'm gonna lay some of that down because I'm gonna vacuum after this, but if I can kind of keep the mess controlled, I think that's better than the alternative. So bring y'all down a little bit. Hold up. Let me bring y'all down a little more. 16 pots ready to go, and we're gonna go ahead and start filling them up. Okay, so you saw the compost, and then I have organic planting mix. This is the C&B Organics planting mix. Holds moisture. It's good stuff, all right? Random, but I love the smell of this potting mix. I don't really think any of my, I don't think any of my stuff really needs thinning per se. So let's see here. This isn't coming out. It's coming out kind of in clumps. So, all right. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Oh my God. I probably should have waited until these weren't so wet. Like, they're pretty freshly watered. So now that I've transplanted one plant, I kind of now know that I need to probably add just more to it so they have a bigger base. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go wash my hands and then grab my gardening gloves so I can really get it up in here. But I did want just a decent idea of seeing how this is gonna work now that I kind of have cleared my first run. I know what to expect, so let me go wash my hands and then we'll start transplanting. And we're back with gardening gloves. Before someone goes in the comments, Dana, you don't need to be putting your hands in that dirt, girl. You need gardening gloves. I got gardening gloves, y'all. Chill. All right, so I'm gonna add a bit more compost, a bit more potting mix. So these are a little higher up. Yo, transplanting this stuff is not easy, like at all. Here now. We're here. Damn it, I broke one of the damn marigold sprouts. Ugh, this is a nightmare. And my mom's calling me. So we're gonna take a brief intermission and I'll be back later. I gotta talk to my mom. All right, so much time has passed. I was on the phone with my mom for quite a bit of time. Sun's gone down and I'm trying my hardest to transplant these plants and it's not going well. Just to give y'all a close-up of the ones that I've done, here are the marigolds. I accidentally tore one of the sprouts and then some of the sprouts got like covered in dirt. So it's like, I think moving forward it's gonna be really important that I get enough soil high enough so that I'm not drowning the plants in dirt. Like, I just want to surround them with dirt. I don't want to cover them in dirt. So I emptied out one of the pots. I'm gonna try and sit this in here and then surround it with more compost. Oh boy. All right, and we got it out free. Drop. So that's what I was expecting for it to be like, not a hot mulchy mess. So for sure I need to let my soil dry some. It smells heavenly, y'all. So I'm just gonna add this potting mix and compost around. So we want to turn that flash off. Okay, so this actually popped out perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this to a larger pot. Wow. Also, can we talk about how tight the roots were in there? I'm surprised this thing is probably gonna thrive because it's got more root space now. Ooh. I'm sure I'm probably not doing this right. I should have read, but YOLO. Why be gentle when you can be rough?
Why punch others when you can just mentally disturb them? That's practically what you just said.
Oh no.
Here's a close up and a far way down.
One of the little guys kind of fell off because I was being rough.
I'm the camera woman of the year. Give me an Emmy Award.
Bruh. Okay. I think that's the ticket there. I don't see any others that are dry, so we'll wait for the rest. But this one I was like, oh, it feels dry, so let me try. I have a snake plant that I would like to...
Veggie?
Yeah, let me go grab the snake plant. Then again, it's kind of thriving, so maybe I shouldn't be there. You know, I'm gonna leave it be. The aloe plant that I got that I didn't show y'all earlier.
Why is the soil green? Like the soil's green.
I think it's like a moss. All right.
And she's doing the plants.
Playing in the dirt again.
Wait, hold up. That would be such a cool photo. Okay, keep your hand right there. Yes!
What's your director now? Meanwhile, this one's over here just looking trash. Shit. Well, at least I got 2 right.
Yeah.
That awkward moment when you didn't buy the plates for underneath the pot, so now I probably need to go back to Fred Meyer to get the plates.
Well, you could use like that painting. It's like,
I have 16 pots, Marley.
I want to get a 3D